Hey there, North Central. Welcome to Cam on Cam. I'm Cameron Mullen here in our NCHS Live studio with some very special guests. The North Central fall drama is Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a classic tale set in 19th century Switzerland and is about the young Dr. Frankenstein and his ill-fated experiments. To talk a little more about the show are seniors Emily Williams, Evan Rogers, and Logan Mortier. Hello guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Cameron.
So Emily, can you tell me a little more about the show, like Frankenstein in itself?
Yes, I can. Well, it starts off with Victor Frankenstein deciding that he wants to create life using deceased body parts and kind of using electricity to create a man. And so he enlists the help of his friend, Henry, and together they create this horrific creature who's actually played by our own Cameron Mullen. And then through a series of events that are just kind of sporadic and unpredictable, Cameron kind of turns into this horrific creature who wreaks havoc everywhere he goes.
So Evan, Emily stated that you played Victor Frankenstein, so could you tell us who is Victor Frankenstein? Kind of what is he? What type of character is he?
Victor is a very complex character because on one hand Victor is a very loving family man where he just adores his fiancée Elizabeth and he loves his father and his brother and even the help in his house so much, but he's also very self-centered because he's trying to further his own goals in science. He's trying to push the boundaries and just go where no one has gone before and create this being which will make his precedent of science and reanimating life just the ultimate scientific experiment.
So he's definitely a complex character.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Logan, Emily stated that you play Henry, Victor's best friend. How was that for you playing your first big lead role in a North Central production?
You know what, Cam? It's very exciting. Although it can be difficult at times, I definitely expected it to be like very, very hard. But it ended up turning to be a lot easier than I thought it would be. It's not that much different from being even ensemble in the cast. Yeah.
So Evan, you're playing kind of a very complex role, so how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare, kind of get yourself ready for that?
Well, every day I have a 10th period study hall, and during that study hall I would normally do my homework, but whenever I'm in a show I take out my script and I just study my lines, whether I'm trying to memorize them or I'm just looking at them, reading the script, trying to get myself more familiarized with my character and other characters so I can have better chemistry with them. And during rehearsal I usually just try to relate to the character when I'm playing them. There's a lot of death that goes on in Frankenstein, and I try to relate my past experiences with death because my grandfather died last year during the winter, and I'm trying to relate all those feelings and emotions and complexities that I had during that time into my character.
So you definitely play kind of like it's a difficult character to play.
It really is.
And so Emily, Evan here plays kind of a part that's very difficult, but he kind of has like past experience to help him relate. How do you kind of prepare for your role? Because it is a very difficult role as Elizabeth.
Thank you. Well, my role, Elizabeth, the fiancée, she actually is a less complex character. She is completely and entirely devoted to her love, and she also is a very passionate family caretaker. She's kind of the mother figure in the family. And for me, since I'm not a mother, that's the hardest aspect of my role. But then everything else, I just try and practice as much as possible so that I know that on opening night when there are hundreds of people filling up the auditorium, that I can look out and be satisfied with my work and myself and also I don't want to mess up anybody else's lines.
Would you say maybe that your mom might play a role in helping you kind of develop a mother figure?
Yes, to a certain extent. Elizabeth is much more low-key than my mom is. My mom tends to be a little more involved in my life and everything, but more or less, yes. But my favorite part about the role is being able to play a woman who gets to wear large floor-length dresses the entire time.
Definitely, so you get the great costumes.
Exactly.
And Logan, you had said earlier that you have to memorize a lot of lines. So what is kind of, out of all the lines you've got to go through and memorize, what is probably your favorite line that you've got to say?
Well, as I'm arguing with Victor, I get to say, "What of the soul, Victor? The body is but the keeper of the soul, and death releases it to heaven." And I would say that line definitely encompasses a very big theme in the show, that about spirit and like with the creature not having those parents or like having that love that normal people would have.
Definitely. So this is for anyone, so how can you say, like, all together with the entire cast, how the show's coming, and what should the North Central public expect to kind of see when they come see the show?
Well, I definitely think that this show lives up to the North Central expectations. There was some skepticism as to whether we would be as good this year because last year we had a few seniors graduate who had kind of had a monopoly on roles in North Central Theater. And so this year, all of us seniors and even the underclassmen, we've worked really hard to kind of fill those really big shoes, and I think we have more than surpassed all expectations. And so I'm extremely excited about it, and I know that everyone else should be too, because it will be just as good as Flowers for Algernon and maybe even better.
Definitely, definitely. Being in the show last year and being in this show this year, I think that, you know, they're two different shows and they're definitely on two different levels, but they both exceed all expectations. So can you guys tell us kind of what the dates are? Tell everyone what the dates are for Frankenstein so they can come see.
Well, the dates for Frankenstein are as follows. It debuts September 22nd and it runs through the 24th. All of the shows are at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Tickets cost $7 per adult and $5 for children 12 and under.
So that's all the time we have today in our NCHS Live studio. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, Cameron.
And remember to come see Frankenstein September 22nd through the 24th at 7 o'clock p.m. each night. Tickets are $7 for adults and $5 for children 12 and under. I'm Cameron Mullen from Cam on Cam. Have a great day, North Central.